Okay, in this video, I want to look at area charts in a little more detail. So I've defined our chart as area chart. Make sure you have area chart up here. And we're also going to look in this video at area chart 3D. So I'll just put this back in as well. Remember, we took this out a while back. Okay, so area chart and area chart 3D. And there's not a whole lot different between the area chart and the bar chart. So most of the things that we did with the bar chart in the last video will still work with the area chart in this video. So for instance, we can set the y-axis and the x-axis. We can do the chart style. We can't really do the chart shape. This is just going to be a line anyway. So we'll comment this out, and let's comment out this chart style with this number. Since there's too many numbers to go through all of them, you can look at those different chart styles if you want, but we're just going to take the default, so I'll comment that out. So let's just save this and run it just to take a quick look at our chart here. So let's run this guy and open our company salaries 2 file again. And we have this basic area chart, right? So remember in the last video, we added some new data and we stacked our things. You could do that same thing here with an area chart, and you don't even have to sort of define the stacking like we did in the last video with the bar charts. So let's close this and see what I mean. Let's open up our company salaries file. And up here, I'm going to put year 2 for salaries. And let's change a couple of these. Let's add some stuff to make these bigger so the data is a little more consistent. Okay, so that looks good. Let's go ahead and save this. And now if we run this file again, after first coming up to our data and defining that we want to include that other row or that other column, so let's go max underscore call equals 3. So remember, we started with column 2. We also want to add column 3. So let's save this and run it and see what this looks like. So company salaries 2, and you can see we get area charts with 2 different sets of data, right? And this red one is sort of overpowering the blue one because of the data that we used, but you can see how that works. So that's sort of interesting, right? You can also do the same thing with the 3D bar chart, and it maybe is probably a little better to do it with a 3D bar chart, because with here, like I said, this red is overpowering the blue, so we can't really see the blue stuff behind there. So let's close this and change this back to, let's see, area chart 3D. So just making that change alone, running this again, we'll see that this becomes a little bit more usable as data, right? So because we can see the blue now that was behind this red. So very interesting. One other thing I'll mention while we're talking about these is this legend here. We have the salaries and the year, which we defined, with our column heads, but we can get rid of that if we want, because really it's right here, year 2 and salaries, sort of redundant to have it both. So it's really easy to do that. We could just head back over to our code, and just down here where we're defining charty type things, we can go chart.legend equals none. And you can do this for all the graphs, right? So let's save this, run this guy again, open it up, and now our legend is gone and it just has the labels as it did earlier. So, whatever your style is, whichever you prefer, that's fine. And again, notice our graph is right up against here because we added this column. Remember, before we put a space here, so you might want to change that as well. Oops. You can resize. Very interesting. So, okay. So that's really the only big difference between area charts and bar charts. Not a whole lot to talk about, but some interesting things as far as the stacking goes, and that could be useful. So that's all for this video. In the next video, we'll look at radar charts.